as if we weren't singing his praises for so long, man. The Pacers had a bad game against the Knicks. I predicted the Knicks would win that just because I knew Jalen Brunson had one more in him. I thought the Knicks, who had been fighting all playoffs long, I give them a lot of credit for that. They got a lot of fight in them. I thought they'd win Game 5, and I think they'd lose Game 6, but we'll have that conversation another day. But one of the things I walked away from that game disappointed was you can lose to the Knicks. The Knicks have been a quality team. Obviously, they've made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think what was disappointing,
they were the favorites. They were
the favorite in that game.
No,
but what was disappointing was, Rob, for me, was Tyrese Haliburton and the performance. Not just you lose, that happens, right? You can lose a game, but if you go back 2 games, you go back to Game 3. He had a bad game on his standards. He wasn't happy. He talked about it. He said, I kind of felt like I let the team down. And that's why he was so happy to bounce back with that incredible masterpiece of Game 4. He said, hey, I realized I played poorly Game 3. I feel like it was my fault, and I wanted to step up as a leader and really show that we can bounce back, and I myself can bounce back. And that's when he had, the 32, 12, and 12 game that he had, and you're like, wow, what a remarkable comeback. 0 turnovers. Well, and it was plus 16. Game 5, he took 7 field goal attempts. 7. Not because he was injured, not because they were blown out by 50 and the game was over after the first quarter.
What was his prize pick over under 8 shots? Is that what it was? I don't even know what it was. I'm just playing.
7 attempts.
I'm just playing, but I
mean, listen.
He didn't have a bad game. He didn't play.
Exactly. And this is coming off of a 23 field goal attempt Game 4.
But this is the NBA. We've seen this. How many times did you beat the drum about the Timberwolves and Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards not shooting? Like you can't win.
I don't understand
Like you can't win. It's like they just decide to take a night off. And in the NBA, you just got to be honest. Can we call it like we see it? The last thing the NBA wanted was both of their conference finals to end in 5 games, okay? Because you don't make any money. You need at least 6 games, and you need a 7th game. It's a bonanza. The worst thing that could have happened to the NBA is that the Pacers won last night. Seriously. I'm just financially, everything. It just was not what they wanted. They got a chance now.
Well, I mean, I don't know what they could have done to tell Tyrese Haliburton to only shoot 7 shots. That's crazy. So here's my thing, though, Rob. I think Tyrese Haliburton has to learn that him being, in his mind, unselfish is absolutely being selfish. I think him trying to be, I want to make sure I spread it out, and I want to, just fit it. Sometimes what we need tonight is you to be aggressive. And sometimes what we need tonight is for you to take over. And a person who is way better than him and had an immaculate career and still playing is LeBron. And at times, we would say that about LeBron. Pass first, get everybody going. And at times, we would say, hey, LeBron, tonight's one of those nights I need you to be aggressive.
Well, he doesn't want the shot.
Tonight's one of those nights I need you to be the leader who takes over and puts the foot on the other team's throat and get this thing over with. And Tyrese Haliburton is still learning that, because I think him trying to pace it and trying to, let me get the flow actually hurt the team, because he could have been the one that was more aggressive. He could have been the one that got them going. They could have fed off of his energy. He could have fed off of his hunger, fed off his tenacity, saying, let's go. And instead, he was trying to find the flow, find the rhythm for other guys. And I think they lost that juice that they had in Game 4. So that's something he's going to have to learn, that sometimes you being unselfish is being selfish and detrimental to the team. But, Rob Parker, as I've gotten older, as I try to grow and become more financially literate, one thing you learn, when you got a good stock, you got to ride it. Even when that thing goes down, if you got Amazon, Nvidia, if you got Apple, it's going to go down sometimes. It's going to have a bad day, a bad week. You ride that stock because you trust in, you believe in it. And I'm trusting and believing right now in Tyrese Haliburton, and he's going to pick it up in Game 6 and do exactly like he did in Game 4, bounce back, put on a really, really good showing, and get his team to the finals. So I'm riding that Amazon stock by name of Tyrese Haliburton, that Nvidia, that Apple stock, and I think he'll bounce back. But he's definitely got to realize they need him sometimes to be aggressive. They need him to be a bit selfish from time to time. It's okay as their leader, their shot creator, and the person who can make difficult shots.
I just think they took their foot off the gas last night, and early on.
Man, that's an understatement. They ain't had no gas in the tank.
They just decided for whatever reason that they'd rather have a Game 6 in Indiana, and they'll play better, and you'll see it. I'll watch and see. It'll be a totally different game, and you'll be like, what? What was this? It's weird in the NBA. And there's another thing, and I said to you before, like when I told you that I wasn't shocked that the Knicks won Game 3 or whatever it was. I was just like, the Pacers weren't going to sweep the Knicks. I never bought that. You know what I mean? I'm really.
I don't know. Yeah, it was 6 or 7 for me. Is what I.
Yeah, like people were like, oh, I can't believe they lost. Really. The Knicks were going to get swept by the Pacers. I didn't see that.
The Knicks have been a good team this playoff. They've been better in the postseason than they were in the regular season. They've beaten good teams. They've come back from when we didn't think they would. They've played gritty. They played tough. They've been down. They've had Brunson nicked up, banged up a little. Like I've been impressed with them. They don't play necessarily a style that I think is for the long haul, but you can't. Yeah, there's no way I would have picked anybody to come in and say, "Oh, the Knicks are going to get swept," which is why I thought they'd win last night. They've proven to be that gritty that I was like, I can't count them out. They're going to get this win last night.
I wasn't convinced. I really thought the way that both of these series were, and just that the way the Knicks played at home, they were 3-5 in the postseason coming in. They just haven't been dominant at all or protect your home court. And that couple close games against the Pistons, they lost one, right? Or lost one or two to the Pistons. One there, right? Because they won 3 in Detroit. Yeah. So I was just like, they could have a lackluster performance because they haven't played well at home. But I don't expect. I mean, that's why. But I just don't expect to see the same Pacer team that we just saw, which was lackluster, out of gas, not interested after, especially once they got to the second quarter. It just seemed like, and Haliburton, how do you expect to win when you go from 23 shots to 8? Like
7, Rob. Stop giving them one.
I keep saying 8-7, which is just like I was thinking about the over-under. I'm sorry.
Why you keep thinking about the X-Files?
No, I'm just saying. But it's weird, and you don't always want to think that everything's a conspiracy and they're figuring it out, and it's the WWE, NBA, but sometimes you just wonder. I brought it up to Rob G. There are people to this day that believe the NBA had something to do with Sacramento losing to the Lakers.
Game 6, I think
right?
It was. Yep.
Because the NBA was facing the Kings against the Nets. Not the Brooklyn Nets, the New Jersey Nets and the Sacramento Kings. And, of course, the Lakers wound up sweeping the Nets, and it wasn't a series at all, but you get my point, right?
Yeah. No, I do.
They did not want that.
There's a lot. That's one game. It's hard to find someone who does not scratch their head at minimum about that one.
Right?
I mean, you talk to a lot
of – Was Donahue refereeing that game?
Yes.
Was he refereeing last night?
A great podcast called Whistleblower who talks all about just the whole Donahue, and they get him on record. He talks the whole time. It's Whistleblower. It's a podcast came out like maybe 3-4 years ago. Definitely worth the listen if you're into that. And it talks about it. And some weird stuff like, Rob – such a massive percentage of NBA refs are from this one small town in Pennsylvania. And it's like an absurd percentage. Like, refs can be from anywhere in America, really anywhere in the world. Why is there this weird contingency that are all from this little small outside of Philadelphia suburb in Pennsylvania? It's like when you listen to that podcast, little things that make – what is that all about? And but that game, they talked to a bunch of players from that game, and they're all convinced that one was might have been some issues in that game, to say the least.
Yeah, well, it's part of it too. And you remember how when they had that big scandal with the tax evasion and they were cashing in tickets? Did you remember that with the referees? That was another big scandal. But I think what you just talked about had to do with people getting people in when the openings come and the people do the hiring and they hire people, you know what I mean? That's one of those situations where you figure out why other people can't get in. They don't have the in. They don't know that there's an opening, and somebody from that area is in charge of hiring. You know what I mean? It's bad.
It's man. When you just you do a little deep dive, it gets a little make you scratch your chin a little bit, like.
No doubt.